Blah. You already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do. The outlet to reality, the holders podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama or maybe hide from your baby mama. Just kidding. But anyways, fans, thank you for staying tuned. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching! And today we have a very special guest who I consider a friend, a brother, for Lateef. Woo!
Hey, thank you for having me.
Of course, brother. It was hard, man. I had to, call your agent, your secretary. It was a lot of phone calls. You know what I'm saying?
This is super busy, man.
Right. But look, brother, I want to, share a little something. So for people that don't know my audience, so last year, Steve, I ain't gonna lie, you made some homemade Nigerian food. One of the best thing I still to this day I still dream about it because it was so good. And I had it twice last year and this year, where you made like rice, chicken, uh, and you had like this secret sauce on the go. It was like spicy. It was like I
Yeah.
don't amazing, brother. If you could explain a little bit about the dish, because my mouth is almost it's gonna crumble because it's so delicious, brother. Like for me now, Nigerian food is in the top. So I think you moved the rank. I didn't believe it until you told me it was amazing. It's fire. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, so the dish is called jollof rice. It's like the number one staple food in Nigeria. Everybody, and it's not just Nigerian food as well. Other countries, in mostly in West Africa, have their variation of jollof rice. It's basically rice like cooked in our spices. So it's our next door neighbor Ghana. They think they make the best jollof rice, but we're quick to remind them that we can't make it better than the people that created the food. So, but it's one of the elements of our Nigerian food. And my sister could cook it one way. It tastes one way. My mom cooks it a different way. And it's the same exact food, and that's what makes it kind of like unique and special. So Nigerian food is I don't think it gets it's not as widespread as, let's say, Ethiopian food. You see Ethiopian restaurants everywhere. You don't see Nigerian restaurants as much. Um, but Nigerian food is I'll say is the best. I'll say it's the best. So
That's amazing, but and the way you guys cook the goat, I noticed that like it's very nice and like oh yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, do you guys use it the oven or you use the pot to make the
oh
goat?
no. Oh no. Just think a lot of our food are ancient. I mean, they've been around for. I mean, that's what makes Nigerian food, I think, a little bit special. It's when you eat Nigerian food, you feel a little bit of connection to your ancestors in a sense because that's what they were eating. So there was no oven, there was no. It was just open flame pot. So what we did, how I cook it, we mostly cook it is we get the goat, it's cut, washed, clean, boil it. We boil it. We boil it with bouillon cubes, salt. Boil it with thyme and curry, a little bit of curry. So we boil it, then we fry it, and then we spice it up with the peppers.
Whoa.
But our food it's a lot of our food. We have jollof rice. We have pounded yam is another very popular Nigerian food. It's basically I don't know if you know. I know there's yam in Latin America. It's basically like the yucca yams kind of thing, but an African version of it. It's like big yams. You boil it, and then you pound it until it's brittle, and then you eat that with the stew. That's another. Those are the two popular is jollof rice and really pounded yam. Those are the two biggest food in Nigeria. I just think Nigeria is the most populated country in Africa. One, Nigeria, there are more black people in Nigeria than anywhere else in the world. Nigeria has more exports in terms of our people. You see Nigerians in everything in medicine. You're gonna see if you ever open up your HMO book, you're gonna see Nigerian doctors all up and down it. Go to most pharmacies around town in most cities, you're gonna see Nigerians in it. So Nigeria is and that just all comes from where we're from. Where we're from, you're taught to in a sense also, in a sense, get your education and work hard. We have a saying in Nigeria that there's no food for the lazy man. It's a very popular saying in Nigeria. So you're gonna starve if you don't work hard. If you're lazy, you're gonna starve. So all of that is just that's just Nigerian culture. Nigerian. That's our way of life in Nigeria. That's what I love mostly about Nigeria. Every time I go, it's you see poverty. Yes, you see people that get up at 4 a.m. in the morning to make maybe $1 a day. But they get up every single day and they go work. They get up every single day to go give life their very best. Even though life, is throwing them not the best end, but the Nigerians are probably the most ingenious. And I'm not just saying that because I'm Nigerian. They're probably the most ingenious, probably the most hardworking people. Most people, if they meet Africans, they will usually say, "Oh, I met a Nigerian," because Nigerians are we're kind of like everywhere in every area, in every field, just trying to make it, trying to make something. You see us in films, you see us in music, you see us in art, you see us in food now, you see us in everything. The Nigerian professors at UNLV, so you see Nigerians. You're from Chicago. There's a lot of Nigerians in Chicago. There's a lot of Nigerian business owners in Nigeria, in Chicago. So that's kind of like how we're bred. Is just go to school. The first 2 degrees in my Nigerian dad will tell you is become a doctor, become a lawyer. If none of those two, maybe go do engineering, and then start a business. That's programmed into you from when you're like young in Nigeria. Is get a business started. Is start a business. So
Wow. No, that's amazing, brother. I love that. Like the ambition, the hustle, the working hard. And I gotta be honest, you mentioned music, brother. Afro beats, crazy, coming to Vegas. I hear it more now on the radio station, like on the
yeah,
big ones.
yeah,
Before they never play it. And so I think it's nice that they're bringing more into it, like the Vito, all different artists. And
right.
and brother, I want you to like share a little bit about, because you know more of the history of the old school Afro beats. If you could share a little bit the big artists, the underground, like they say it,
Yeah,
and a little bit about the Vito, because you know more about him than me. He's
yeah,
from
yeah,
the city. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, so the biggest one who all the current Afrobeats, who actually created Afrobeats, honestly, his name is Fela. He's Fela. Afrobeats, what Afrobeats is now is kind of like not how it started. It was more Fela was his mom, Fela's mom. Let me just take you down to the history. Fela's mom was the first Nigerian woman to drive a car. She dethroned a king, which is unheard of. She created like a movement that dethroned a king. Kings are sacred in Nigeria. Kings are untouchable. Kings are anointed from God in Nigeria. She formed a group of market women in Nigeria, formed an association that dethroned the king. So his mom was very radical. So Afrobeat comes from that woman who gave birth to Fela, and Fela started as Afrobeat, and Nigeria got independence from England in 1960. So, because we're colonized by England, so Fela's music was just to rail against Nigeria's been ruled by military men. Had been ruled by military men for like decades. So he was arrested. He was beaten. His mom was actually killed by the military. His mom was thrown down from an upstairs. They came to raid his house. Threw her down from an upstairs house, and she sustained injuries, and that's how she died. But Fela's Afrobeat comes from that, because Fela was all about talking about corruption. He talks about African women or African men or Africans. Period. I don't know if you ever heard about skin bleaching,
Yeah.
but the Nigerians, especially back then, will bleach to look more lighter, to look more European, because they think that Fela believes that being colonized has changed what we perceive as beauty, right? So he was talking about why are you bleaching your skin? Black is beautiful. Being you is beautiful. That's Afrobeat. If you look up Fela, he's the king. There's no started Afrobeat. He died. Just politics. All he was railing against was the government corruption. So why is Nigeria so poor if we are one of the largest producers of oil in the world? I think we're second or third behind Saudi Arabia. Why do we have so much resources and all the politicians are holding all the money? So from Fela, and then we go all the way through. I'll say the 90s is when things kind of start to kind of like I'll call them offsprings of Fela. The biggest one for me was Two Face. Two Face was huge in Nigeria. Two Face created a song called African Queen. African Queen is if you ever look at Monique's movie, Fat Girls, that song played in that was the first time I've ever heard a Nigerian song in an American movie or in any. That's the first time I ever heard anything Nigerian in a big Hollywood production. I think he opened the door, and then of course now you have the likes of the Davidos, you have the likes of the Rimas, you have the Burner Boys. Now taking it to the next level. But the first evolution of Afrobeat, the first was Fela, and then I'll say the biggest, I'll say from maybe a decade or so ago was Two Face, and then now you have the David who's born in Lagos, whose dad who actually lived and went to college went to Atlanta, lived in Atlanta for a couple of years, went to college somewhere in the South in the United States. His dad is wealthy. He doesn't have the same background of say Fela or say even Two Face. Two Face comes from poverty as well, but his dad is wealthy. But he's able to use his music and take his music and elevate Nigerian music. It's the biggest pride for a Nigerian. When you are in the radio, you're sitting in your car, you're driving, and the first time I heard it, I was like, am I on Bluetooth? Or maybe I was thinking maybe I will add my playlist sync to my car or something like that. And that's pride for Nigeria. And that's another example of how Nigeria is, I'll say great. It's a great country. I mean, there's hundreds of African countries, right? But all you hear music-wise coming out of Africa, for the most part, is Nigerian artists. Nigerian artists have broken the door. You hear them on radio. You're seeing them at MTV award shows. You're seeing them at BET award shows. You're seeing them at some of the biggest festivals in the world. The Davidos, the Remas, and there's so many. Olamide is another one that I really like. He's not broken too big into the West, but he's good as well. There's another guy that I really like, Afrobeat wise. His name is LD. He's superb. I'll say he's more closer in terms of politics to the original intention of Afrobeats, the original roots of Afrobeats. So that's a little bit of Afrobeat history in a small nutshell. So
I love it. I love it. That was deep, man. I didn't know about that. Like I love that you brought it like the Godfather, like the original for Afrobeats when it began. And I remember you showing me the song Two Face, and I do remember something too that we were talking, and we were talking about music, right? We're always having a good time. And you said to me, do you know the singer no, you said, do you know Sade? I said,
yeah,
who's Sade? I said, who's Sade? You're like, you gotta
yeah.
know. And I was like, no, I don't think I know. And then you played the song, you remember?
Yeah,
Smooth on
yeah,
the river.
yeah, yeah.
I,
Smooth operator. That's Shade, and that shit. That's another Nigerian that has been big. I mean, she was born in England, but her parents are Nigerians. But her mom is Brit, her dad is Nigerian. But that's another example of. I would say if Nigeria can get it together, we can be one of the greatest nations on earth. I think Nigerians are, I mean, exceptional people. Sade is one of the biggest artists, and she's an inspiration to a lot of the young musicians that you see today. So, yeah.
that's amazing, brother. That's amazing. And brother, if you could share a little bit about like, growing up in Nigeria and any memories you can think of, like you used to do in your childhood that was fun, or any memories you could remember, because I know you lived there for a while and then you
Oh yeah.
lived in different countries. If you could share a little bit so we get to know a little bit about you, Lateef, more deeper, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Of course, born and raised in Nigeria. Born in Lagos, specifically Lagos, Nigeria is the city I was born and raised. And you know what you learn, those pictures that I sent you, those are all in Lagos. What you learn in Lagos is, you know, you have to be witty in Lagos. You can't be dumb in a sense in Lagos. Lagos is a everyone is out to make something or get something or by whatever means necessary. So you have to have like, you know, your 2 eyes here, have another 2 year, have 2 year, have 2 year, have 2 year when you're in Lagos. You have to be sharp when you're in Lagos. And Lagos teaches you that. Lagos teaches you to be, you know, where I'm from, teaches you to be sharp. So yeah, I went to school, elementary school in Lagos, most of my secondary school as well. We call it high school. Most of my high school as well in Lagos as well. And one thing that no matter what part of Nigeria you're from, that bonds every Nigerian is soccer. That's the one thing that bonds everybody. That's the one thing. I don't care if you're from the north, south, east, west. We all can't wait to get out of school so we can go play soccer because that's all we played at recess. So we get home, we immediately look and see. Hopefully, mom is not watching, and mom doesn't have you know, chores for us. And if she does have chores, we want to hurry up and get out of those chores so that way we can go play soccer with our friends down the street. And those are like the biggest, I'll say, some of the best memories. Just playing barefoot. If you look, I once showed Zaire the bottom of my foot at work. He said, "Don't ever do that again," because he saw black spots all under my feet, like marks all under my feet, from nails, from bottles, from rocks being embedded in there, from just name it. But growing up, you just all you want to do is just kick a soccer ball. So I played throughout high school, played some few boys that I played with ended up going you know, pro. So played you know, I mean, being Nigeria is almost like I don't know what makes you like the basketball stars here, right? Basketball and football is what, you know, your soccer. There's no two things you can be good at outside of school in Nigeria other than soccer. Soccer is the one uniter. Soccer is what, besides food, what brings everybody together is soccer in Nigeria. We call it football in Nigeria. And if you also look at Europe, there's a lot of Nigerians playing soccer all across Europe. There's a lot of Nigerian kids that were born in Europe, especially in England, that were born in Europe, but their parents, you know, immigrated over to England, that are playing for some of the top clubs in England or some of the top clubs across Europe. So soccer is like one of the, I'll say, football as we call it, is one of the biggest memory that I have. Just friends that I had made back then playing in this. We used to, like, if the name of your street is say Outlet, for example, is the name of your street, and then there's another street called Reality, right? So we used to play street, we used to play against streets. So that was our pride. I mean, we played for nothing. We made our own homemade trophies. But streets used to play against streets, and we used to play against each other. And our streets, we picked some of the best boys on our streets to play against, and that was what we grew up doing. That's how we stayed out of trouble. Is soccer.
Wow. That's amazing, brother. That's amazing. And I know, you know, it's interesting you said that because, you know, football, right? That's how we say in Spanish too. You know, soccer is it's big in all over Latin America too. And, you know, we love it. Messi, Ronaldo, like all the big ones, right? We go crazy. And I think the World Cup is one of my favorite parts because everyone's like, "Oh, I want my team to
Yep,
win." You know,
yep,
you
yep,
know this
yep.
bet. But brother, you know what? I want you to share something. This is so, you know, empowering. You have a soccer, like a camp
Mhm,
for young
mhm.
people. I want you to share more about it because I think that's amazing. What you're doing for the youth, and if you could share about it, because I think this is your this is amazing. Like I think it's inspiring.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What I'm bringing here is a soccer camp. I'm going to have some of the. It's called European Academy Football. That's the name of the camp. It's going to be next summer, June 22 to June 24. We're going to be doing it at KZ Fields here in Las Vegas, on Washington. But we're bringing in about 13, 14 could grow European coaches. We're not talking about ex coaches. We're talking about people that are only here because their season is over. They're actually current coaches at Liverpool FC, Chelsea, Arsenal. I have a coach from Valencia in Spain. I have a coach from Espanyol in Spain. I have a coach from AC Milan in Italy. We're talking about actual people that are actually still working as academy coaches that are coaching at the academies in Europe. So never happened before in Vegas. Never happened. I've looked across the country. I've not seen a camp quite like this that brings some of the top actual. I mean, there's soccer camps all over the country, right? But they're not soccer camps that are coached by coaches that are still working at academies that are basically here on vacation in a sense. They're only here because their season is over. So we're going to do the camp. It's a 1 week camp for people here in Nevada. We're going to market it to people in California, Utah, Arizona as well, for everybody to come to Vegas. And they're going to select 25 or so kids to travel back to Europe, for 1 week and to go train. And really, soccer is big here. Yes, it's getting big here. But the level, I lived in Europe, I know there's a big difference in terms of the level, and being there, you're going to actually develop because you're going to see, okay, this is what we're doing here. Here's where the level is. You see little kids as little as 5 years old with their soccer backpack, that weighs more than them every single, especially when I lived in Holland, every single day. So the camp is going to do two things. It's going to so you're going to get 1 week of training. You're going to develop, to learn from, and what the coaches are going to do is bring what the way they teach it to the kids that you end up seeing in the Premier League, that you end up seeing in La Liga, that you end up seeing at the World Cups. These are the coaches that mold those players. These academy coaches, because the Ronaldos, the Messis, they start. But Messi started at Barcelona Academy. From Argentina, then he moved to Spain. Ronaldo started in Portugal from an academy. These are the guys that actually mold and create those world-class players that we see. So they're going to come here and teach American kids what they teach the European kids that we all idolize and we all love and we all watch. So that's what I'm excited for, and parents here are excited for it as well. And and then that's the first part of it, is to teach kids the techniques. They're going to teach it the way they teach it over there. That's the first part of it, where you're going to learn. Then the second part of it is, if you're one of the ones that they identify as, top ones, good, they're going to select you and you're going to go to Europe. So for 1 week. And then another aspect of it is, I see a lot of camps. I think they neglect women. They don't focus on girls. There's really no camp really geared towards girls. Our camp, we are going to have about 2 to 3 coaches that are academic coaches that teach female academy. Female professional soccer in Europe is big now. It's getting bigger. It's big here too. That are going to be actual female academy coaches in Europe that are going to come here and teach the girls. So we're appealing to girls as well. We're not just appealing to just boys. We're appealing to girls, and nobody better to teach it than someone that teaches at a Manchester City Women Academy, for example, or an AC Milan, or a German Academy women team, for example. So that's what we're bringing in. We're excited for. It's going to be 2024, June 22 to June 28, and no better time to start now promoting. I like to do things in advance. I like to plan for things. I could wait 3 months and then no, I want to put everything in place now and start marketing it now, so people are aware of it now. And that's what we're doing next year. It's gonna be big. We're gonna try and get on local television here. We're gonna try and get on newspapers here. We're gonna try and get on local radios here. I already told the coaches they're gonna do interviews with local televisions here as well. That's part of their contract. He's helping with marketing, so it's gonna be fun.
Oh, that's so cool, man. Just to hear this, like the way that the connections you did to bring the coaches from all over these different European countries to come and teach the kids in Vegas, to be how it is to train like for real, like you said,
Exactly.
right? And you know that Europe, they're way more disciplined, more tough with soccer and
Oh yeah.
serious. And
Oh yeah.
and here in Vegas, they can be, but it's not the same energy. You already
No,
know it's a whole different world.
not at all.
So I'm proud of you, brother. I think this is big. I'm happy. I can't wait, brother. Big deal, man. So anybody who's trying to find a camp, a soccer camp that they want their kids to sign up, this is the spot to go. Lateef, he don't play around. This is for real. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And we're on Instagram as well. And we have a website. Website is up. You can register on the website. It's EuropeanAcademyFootball.com. The Instagram is European Academy Football as well. We're on Twitter as well. So follow us. Visit our website. If you have any questions, give us a call. We have a number that you can call. It's 702 445 9237. And yeah, check out the Instagram page, check out the website, and register. We're registering right now, and the long term goal, is to, and I've broken that down to the coaches, and they're all on board, is to have a camp in Vegas for 1 week, then go from Vegas, Arizona for 1 week. Well, I'll go the other way first. Maybe go to California for 1 week, and have a camp. Start from the west. Have a camp in Utah, Arizona, Colorado, Oregon, and then spread to Texas, and then go all over the country. That's the eventual goal. So we're starting with Vegas, and then we're going to just spread it all over the country, and we're going to be doing it week by week by week by week camps all over the country.
Oh, that's amazing, man. I love it. I love the vision, brother. Now I'm gonna wrap it up, brother. Guys, this guys live to reality. The Holders podcast invest in Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ching. Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the outlet to reality. My Snapchat is take one, pass it. And my TikTok is at Yaakov. And brother Lateef, thank you for being here, brother. It was an honor. It was a good time, brother.